The next thing we need to do before we ever start really thinking about technology in our transformations is to define what the change impacts are and what our change management strategy is to address the people side of the equation, the human side of the equation. So for example, if we know we're going to consolidate jobs or we're going to automate part of someone's job, we need to decide and define what those people are going to do in the future. What are they going to do when we automate that spreadsheet or those manual processes that they've been doing for 10 or 20 years? We need to define that stuff up front, and we also need to recognize where the pockets of resistance might come from, because oftentimes it's the unintentional resistance that will derail a project. The other reason why change management is so important before you ever commit to a software vendor and before you commit to the overall project is because you need to understand the magnitude of change. How big of a change is this going to be? How much resistance do you proactively anticipate? And how can we develop a change strategy and build that into our overall plan? And that change strategy, by the way, is oftentimes on the critical path. That is ultimately what's going to take the longest on a project, is how fast you can change people. You're probably going to be able to implement and deploy technology a lot faster than your organization and its people are going to be able to adapt. You have to have a clear vision of how we're going to manage that change, what that duration looks like, what the resource commitments are before you can ever have a realistic overall transformation plan.